They're having breakfast. Everyone ready?
Well, I certainly am. I can't wait to see Edward choke on his donut when he hears that you and Chloe are getting married.
They don't eat donuts, Jax. They eat people.
Well, I stand corrected.
The important thing is that we stick to our story, which is, we know it's sudden, but we're here to share the good news.
I can do that.
Now, they're going to be coming at you from all sides, so don't let them rattle you. Once the Quartermaine smell fear, they're like sharks at a feeding frenzy.
Honey, don't scare her to death. She's under enough pressure as it is.
You call this pressure? Try designing dresses for Sheikh Abu Dhani's 12 wives and making them each feel special. Let's
Ready?
do it.
Okay.
We wrapped up late last night, but I convinced Bill Davidson that we made him the best offer.
Ooh. I convinced him 3 months ago, but why get hung up on the details?
You know, you walked away from this company once, Ned. Once you keep on walking.
AJ, I know how you hate being interrupted when you're busy congratulating yourself, but I happen to have some business of my own.
Oh, let me guess. There's suddenly been a break in the price of guitar strings.
Chloe and I are engaged.
Have one of these, Mother. They're delicious.
Oh, thank you, dear.
If you will set me up for a meeting with Davidson, that way we can double team him, and I'm sure that we can sweeten our deal.
I'll get on him first thing.
You see, if we meet with him, then we will know. I can tell definitely.
No, he's there. No, I got it.
Well,
I convinced him. I told you. I spoke to him.
You did.
That's going to go well.
4, 3, 2, 1, blast off.
Engaged? What the hell's going on here? Not that any of us should care anymore, Ned, but after all, you still are a member of the family, and when you are announcing an engagement, it seems to make better sense to get the names right.
I did.
You said that you were engaged to Chloe. Obviously, you meant Alexis.
No, I didn't.
No, he didn't.
Well, now, Chloe, dear, this has no reflection on you, but Ned, have you gone completely mad?
All right, let's try and remain calm. For once, let's try and discuss a family situation without raising our voices.
Well, this won't be the time.
Alan is right. There is no need for hysterics. Just fill us in on the facts.
Well, there's really nothing to tell you. Chloe and I are engaged to be married.
Then why is Alexis here?
Ned and I are still friends. I'm here to support him.
What about the pirate there? What's his role in this travesty? Oh, never mind. This marriage will not happen, so we won't waste any more time.
Excuse me, why won't it happen?
Because they are cousins. Now, admittedly, this family has pursued its share of questionable activities in the past, but marrying each other will not be one of them.
Well, I was worried about that too, Edward, but Ned did some research and we found out that we're only third cousins twice removed.
Oh, that's close enough.
Do you even know what that means?
It means they're not getting married.
Chloe and I have no blood connection whatsoever. Now, we are getting married, and none of you can stop us.
I have to admit, Ned, your plan is working perfectly.
Hey, what plan is that?
Isn't it obvious? He's trying to upstage me.
About you, Junior. Governments can rise and fall. New solar systems can be discovered, and yet you still hold to the theory that you are the center of the universe.
You know, I can't say I disagree with AJ. I mean, he gets married, takes your job as CEO, and all of a sudden you're getting married to a woman who...
Unlike AJ's charming bride, is actually a functioning member of society.
That's enough.
I was going to say, who you hardly know.
I am truly sorry if this announcement has taken you all by surprise. But couldn't you offer congratulations first and then tear us apart later?
Well, of course, if you're both confident of your decision, I wish you the best.
Thank you, Lila.
Please be advised that Lila speaks for herself. Now, I don't know what else is behind all this engagement business, but I know that it isn't love.
Edward, if that's your opinion, please keep it to yourself. Chloe, dear, marriage is not a trivial affair. Treat it with respect, and you'll reap bountiful rewards.
Well, I'd hate to break up all this fun, but I really should be going. I do have corporations to raid, after all. Alexis, shall I give you a ride?
Oh, that would be lovely.
Well, maybe we should show them out. Excuse us. Hold it! You guys are not running out on us.
What, the two lovebirds don't want to be alone?
I don't know if they believed us. We might need you to help convince them that we're for real.
Which is exactly why we should leave. Having your recently dumped girlfriend here is only going to confuse them.
Yes, plus, if Alexis and I hurry now, we can get to my lawyer's office and have our marriage annulled.
Was it something I said?
I do.
See you later.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Well, if it isn't the happy couples.
Gertrude, what are you doing here?
Ned, you're not fooling me for a minute. You're up to something. And who the hell are you? Do people just come barging in this house now without even ringing the bell? What?
I was properly ushered in, sir. Thank you. Who are you?
It's my house. You answer first.
Edward Quartermaine. This is my Uncle Herbert's second wife, Gertrude.
Chloe's aunt.
Step aunt.
Oh, it wasn't my intention to impose. I just thought it was appropriate to meet the in-laws.
Isn't that what weddings are for? Getting to know one another over champagne toasts?
You are absolutely right. You must be exhausted. Why don't you go and rest and come back later in the week?
Oh, it's just as I suspected. Chloe hasn't told you the whole story, has she?
Whoa, I knew there was more to this. Gertrude, you seem like a very intelligent woman. Why don't you enlighten us? Excuse us, Ned.
Now what?
The fun continues.
This is my son, Alan, and my grandson, AJ. This is Chloe's aunt.
Step aunt.
Gertrude, I believe you have something to tell us about the pending nuptials. Huh?
Well, my husband, Herbert, may he rest in peace, was an extremely generous man. Well, he saw the talent in Chloe, and out of the goodness of his heart, he financed her company. But he was so afraid that she would be married to her work that he put a stipulation in the will that within 5 years of his death, if she didn't marry for love, well, the company would revert back to its rightful heir, me.
It's true, Uncle Herbert did put that condition in his will. But that has nothing to do with my love for Ned.
Oh, please.
You two have barely been seen together.
You see, in 1 month, it will be the 5th anniversary of Herbert's death. And, well, out of desperation, Chloe obviously convinced Mr. Ashton to marry her.
Do you have any proof? Not that we need it, but occasionally it does come in handy.
Well, I did track them down to a wedding chapel in Las Vegas.
You mean they're already married?
Not them. Those two.
Those are married.
Must be something in the air.
It's just as I suspected. This whole thing is a ruse to fulfill the requirements of Herbert's will.
But how do Jackson and Alexis fit in?
Well, Chloe and Ned were going to get married in Las Vegas in order to save her company when I confronted her and let her know that a quickie marriage would not suffice. So those two stepped in and got married instead.
If this is true, you should all be ashamed of yourselves. If you'll excuse me.
You know, you people never cease to amaze me. You actually assume that that woman knows more about my marriage than I do.
Is there anything I said that isn't true?
Yes, quite a bit, actually. You see, Alexis and I were stranded in the Sahara together for 3 days. We learned a lot about each other.
There's nothing like the fear of death to jumpstart a relationship.
Yes, that's right. And when we returned to Port Charles, we didn't realize how attached we'd become. And eventually, the attraction became too great to resist.
You know, dumping Ned is always a good move under any circumstances. But why would you suddenly want to marry him?
Because he excites me, consumes me, Ned is the most complete man I have ever met. When I look at him, I am suddenly filled with the most...
Yeah. We get the idea.
Edward, I know you are a bottom line kind of man, so I'm going to give you mine. Ned Ashton has become my world. I love him, and I plan on marrying him.
I sympathize with the situation that your uncle put you in, but believe me, it's not worth being married to Ned.
Oh, but it might be worth it to Ned. Isn't that right, huh?
You rarely ask a question that you don't already know the answer, so why don't you take a stab at that?
Well, you see, by being her husband, you could also have access to her company. You could use it to raise the profile of L&B and bolster your backyard record company's image.
I realize that this is a foreign concept in this family, but I'm actually marrying Chloe for love.
Well, you'd better be, or everything your little bride has worked for will belong to me.
I'd like to stay and play another round of the newlywed game, but I do have a company to run, so excuse me.
Well, I'm sure we'll be commiserating on this further. By the way, can you recommend a suitable hotel? I came directly from the airport.
Well, not only can I recommend one, I own it. Please allow me to personally assist you in getting settled.
Well, how delightful.
And without a reservation. You know, I'd like to send you to a wedding basket. Have you decided where you'll be living?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because we've been enjoying the honeymoon so much we haven't discussed it yet.
That's very amusing. You know, whatever game it is that you four are playing, don't plan to win. Gertrude?
Thank you. Chloe?
Gertrude.
Well, I believe grandfather has found an ally.
Well, actually, she couldn't have come at a better time. She's kept us from making a serious strategic error.
Which would be?
Having our marriage annulled.
What are you saying? You two are going to stay married?
Yes, for the time being.
Why?
Because if they don't, Gertrude would have the ammunition to prove that you and I are only getting married to save your company.
Oh, my God. This thing is taking on a life of its own.
Are you ready to leave, sweetheart?
She may be married to you, but she's in love with me. I'll take her home.
Oh, now that is impossible.
Why?
Look, I know it's been a while, Ned, but newlyweds usually live together. If Edward spots us living apart, then we could blow this whole thing.
Okay, Jax has 2 bedrooms. You move in there.
My thoughts exactly. And you know what? Just to keep it realistic, I expect you to send us a wedding gift. Nothing extravagant, of course, but, well, a case of champagne is always appropriate.